What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. So today we ended up getting even more information for Warzone. So I did make a video around like an hour ago going over the brand new trailer that we got, some new operators that were showcased, but it didn't seem like Call of Duty was just going to keep it at that, because they did post another tweet shortly after saying so much heat dropping in today's Warzone dev talk. Here's a preview of the intel you need to know about. So Warzone open matchmaking. It looks like they're also going to do the skill-based matchmaking update to Warzone as well, which is a very big W. Haven Hollow player count adjustments, Barn POI rework for Haven's Hollow, more frequent weapon tuning updates, per category and balance changes, aim assist improvements, new LTMs such as AMP-BR, which is going to be on the weekends only, high octane BR, Rebirth Island, winter refresh, so a preview of the Season 2 Rebirth Island map. So that's what we're going to go over today. I'm going to go ahead and play this dev talk, and then we'll go from there.
Hi everyone, my name is Peter Actipis, Game Director on Warzone here at Raven Software. Over the last few weeks, we've been collecting questions from our community, and I'm here to answer some of our biggest ones. All right, let's get right into it. First question, what are you changing on Haven's Hollow for launch? It's a great question. The reception at COD Next was really positive towards Haven's Hollow, but we're always looking to improve the player experience. So what we're doing is we're increasing the amount of players across all matches. For example, in quads, we're moving up to 52 players from what you might have seen at COD Next at 44 players. High Moon Studios has also reworked the center POI formerly known as Homestead. Now known as the Barn, this solves a few problems that we were experiencing during our playtests. There's been several long sightlines that have been resolved now with the new layout. We also have a lot more intentional rotations to and from this POI, and the center building has been reformatted to fix a lot more combat experiences, allowing for more dynamic and expressive play.
One of the main issues with Haven's Hollow, which was expressed by a lot of the players that got to play it early during Call of Duty Next, they said that during the middle of the game, it gets very boring. There's nothing going on, no gunfighting, there's nothing happening, and it's like the opposite of Rebirth Island. Usually, Rebirth Island has that consistent fighting going on at all times. This map is a little bit bigger than that, so the problem is it gets stale during certain portions of the game, and that was one of the big problems with that, and because of that, they've actually increased the amount of players, so now you're going to frequently see players way more often than previous, because I think they added, what, 8 more players, and then on top of that, there's also going to be the rework changes, so that way you're not like running out in the open and then you instantly get eliminated. So that's like the first thing that they went and expressed.
You mentioned plans to shake up the meta. Can you be more specific? Yeah, absolutely. So we are committing to updating the meta more often than we ever have in the past. You know, the goal is to keep weapon diversity as interesting as possible. We plan on doing that by really focusing on attachments to make sure that they're both impactful and meaningful to the player. Now, we had mentioned that we're updating our technology in terms of being able to tune weapon attachments. And this is really important for us because now we're able to really go in and fine-tune specific problem cases. Instead of nerfing a weapon to the ground, we can be intentional with the changes that we need to make so we can keep the weapon's identity secure. Now, we have a blog coming in the next few days that will cover a lot more of our weapon philosophy, so tune into that.
Now, the most important thing that I heard here is they have a blog coming out, so they're going to explain all of this in terms of the weapon balancing, what they plan on doing in a little bit more detail. I don't think it's going to be one of those blogs where they're going to like showcase a lot of images, but it's more in just like their sort of intention, what they plan on doing with Warzone, what they plan on changing in terms of how weapon balance updates are going to be. And that's one of the things that players also sort of had issues with, is usually the meta is whatever the brand new weapon is. So if they're going to be bringing in the Maddox, usually the Maddox is going to be the meta for that entire season, and then later on they'll end up nerfing it and then adding some different weapons, and then the meta will slightly shift. This time around, they're promising it's going to be more frequent. There's going to be different weapons getting adjustments, so one day it could be like a shotgun being the meta, the next day it could be a sniper rifle, and you don't have to wait an entire season for one particular weapon to finally see a nerf, which I think is a big W.
There's a lot of weapons in Warzone. How are you going to balance them all? Our focus is on the new weapons introduced with Black Ops 7's launch and Season 1. You can always go back and play with old favorite blueprints you own. What are you doing with perks? Well, this year our goal was to really shake up the perk category so they can be really much more competitive for players. We wanted players to really mix up how they use perks and get them out of their comfort zone. We've removed underutilized perks, we buffed up other perks, and post-COD Next, we've taken feedback to heart and really buffing up other perks that we felt could use a little bit more love. For example, Survivor now is going to be able to protect you against one-shot headshots. We have a lot more to cover with perks, and we're going to be covering a lot more detail in our blog coming out right before Season 1. What are you changing with aim assist? We're working closely with Treyarch on adjusting aim assist across all ranges and a right stick aiming requirement that will lead to a more competitive and balanced experience. These changes go live in Warzone with the launch of Season 1.
Now, the issue that I have with the aim assist question that he was given is basically what he's saying is they're going to be the same sort of adjustments that we've seen here with Black Ops 7 multiplayer. So currently, if you're playing Warzone right now before the integration, you might feel that stickier aim assist. All you got to do is move your left analog stick, and rotational aim assist will kick into the full capabilities and target your enemies pretty much for you. And then that's how the aim assist currently works. Now, when they integrate Warzone with BO7, that means that the aim assist as a result is gonna get nerfed. Now, when it comes to nerfing aim assist, especially in Warzone, because the ranges are like super far away, it may have more of an impact on players than it does in multiplayer. Usually in multiplayer, you don't gotta worry about a person being super far away and your aim assist not kicking in or activating. In Warzone, on the other hand, it's like completely the opposite. So I'm curious to see what they do about that. Are they gonna buff it slightly to make it a little bit more stronger, at least in Warzone modes? They don't really give us that information, but we'll have to wait and see.
You said buybacks are coming back. What other LTMs can we expect? Well, we want to leave some surprises for you, but for Season 1, we can talk about some of the weekend LTMs coming. Now, one experimental one that we're excited about is called Amped BR. And the idea here simply is increased health, because we really want to see how this changes the moment-to-moment combat. Now, we also have some other LTMs in store for Season 1. One that I will talk about is High Octane BR. This is pretty cool because players can start out with their loadouts. They're also able to access the buy station anywhere, at any time, with the press of a button. Is open matchmaking coming to Warzone? Yes, open matchmaking is coming to Warzone in Season 1.
Now, one thing is just to take note is casual Warzone is still going to be available. Even though they're updating the matchmaking, they're going to make it open for the standard battle royale playlist. They're actually going to keep casual as is. So if you would prefer fighting AI, then you can actually do that. And that usually comes in very clutch for completing challenges, the weapon grind, and all of that. And then on top of that, the standard lobbies will be even better because you don't have to deal with sweats in that mode either.
Are you adding any new movement mechanics to Warzone? Well, at COD Next, we showed that tac sprint is off by default. Now, if you're a type of player that really likes tac sprint, you can go into the sprinter perk and re-enable it that way. What are you changing on Rebirth Island in Season 2? We've seen a lot of conversations about Rebirth Island on socials, and what we're happy to say is winter is coming. So Rebirth has been hit by a snowstorm. Not only that, but there is a new infill strike coming in Season 2. We also have some geo changes that are really going to help out with rotations and combat situations around the map. We have more info coming in the next coming weeks. On that note, I want to thank you for tuning in to this Dev Talk. Be on the lookout for our deep dive blogs and our Season 1 patch notes over the next coming weeks.
Now, Rebirth Island looks like it really got a full makeover. I believe the winter version, although they're saying winter version, I don't think that releases during Season 1 because a lot of the teasers and the Rebirth refresh that they've said countless times is scheduled for Season 2. So although there's like snow and all of that, the map unfortunately is not scheduled for December, which is, you know, the holiday theme, Christmas and all of that. It's actually scheduled for the Season 2 update, which is going to take place around, I think, end of January, February. Around that time is usually when we get Season 2 updates. Anyways, what are your thoughts and opinions on these Warzone changes? Do you think Warzone is going to have a really good year this time around? Do you believe that they should do something different? Should they add something or remove anything? But anyways, that is all that I got for you guys in this video. Thank you guys for watching, and be sure you are subscribed because there's going to be more news that we're going to go over and we're going to cover here on the page. But it's been Boy Chidzone. I'll see you guys again. Peace.